The International Court of Justice has been hearing arguments from more than 50 states following a request by the UN General Assembly in 2022 to issue a non-binding opinion on the legal consequences of the Israeli occupation. The ICJ also held a two-day session on January 11th and 12, 2024, as South Africa filed a petition against Israel in ICJ, contending that Israel intends to bring about the destruction of a substantial part of the Palestinian national, racial, and ethnical group, that being the part of the Palestinian group in the Gaza Strip. Besides that, Arab states urged international judges on Monday, the 26th of January, 2024, to rule the Israeli occupation of Palestinian territories illegal. And Turkey described the occupation as the real obstacle to peace. And in a recent hearing on Friday, the 1st of March 2024, the government of Nicaragua presented a lawsuit before the ICJ against Germany. According to their statement, Germany has provided political, financial, and military support to Israel, knowing that it would be used to commit serious violations of international law. So hello viewers, welcome back to our channel GeoKit, your daily guide to geopolitical affairs. If you are new to the channel and enjoy learning about fast-paced modernity, especially about the geopolitical positions of countries in the international race, you will find our videos intriguing. In this video, we will discuss why South Africa bringing charge of genocide and requesting provisional measures, and why Turkey along with Arab states ask World Court to declare Israeli occupation illegal. We will also know that how Germany is being sued by Nicaragua at ICJ for its fundings to Israel. Watch the video until the end to know further. So without any delay, let's get started. South Africa's genocide case against Israel at the ICJ is shaking the foundations of the rules-based international order. The increasing number of state and non-state actors voicing their support for this case, and Palestinian liberation in general, is signaling the emergence of a movement for a more principled, fair, and just international order. South Africa's submission alleges that Israel has committed and is committing genocide against Palestinians in the Gaza Strip, and places the charges for violation of the Genocide Convention, in which it describes as the broader context of Israel's conduct towards Palestinians, including what South Africa described as a 75-year apartheid, 56-year occupation, and 16-year blockade of the Strip. South Africa requested that the ICJ render immediate provisional measures of protection by issuing an order to Israel to immediately suspend its military operations in and against Gaza. And the same is being demanded by Turkey and Arab states. Arab states urged international judges on Monday to rule the Israeli occupation of Palestinian territories illegal, and Turkey, on the final day of hearings in the case, described the occupation as the real obstacle to peace. Turkey's Deputy Foreign Minister Ahmet Yildiz told judges the occupation was the root cause of conflict in the region. Yildiz also addressed the October 7th attacks by Hamas in Israel, which killed 1,200. And Israel's military response that has since killed more than 29,000 Palestinians. The unfolding situation after October 7th proves once again that, without addressing the root cause of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, there can be no peace in the region, he said, describing the occupation of Palestinian territories as the real obstacle to peace and urging the judges to declare it illegal. Last week, Palestinian representatives asked the judges to declare Israel's occupation of their territory is illegal, and said the court's opinion helped reach a two-state solution to decades of Israeli-Palestinian conflict that has now devastated Gaza. Israel, which is not taking part in the hearings, has said court's involvement could be harmful to achieving a negotiated settlement to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, calling the questions posed to the court are prejudiced. While Israel's foreign ministry characterized South Africa's charges as baseless and further described South Africa as functioning as the legal arm of Hamas, Israel argues that it is conducting a war of self-defense in accordance with international law following the Hamas-led attacks on its territory on the 7th of October 2023. Approximately 1,200 people, most of them civilians, were killed in these attacks. Israel points to ongoing firing of missiles at civilian population centers, the kidnapping and holding of Israeli hostages in Gaza, and contends that its war cabinet and military authorities' directives show no genocidal intent. While acknowledging the high incidence of civilian casualties, Israel attributes them to Hamas and other militant groups using civilian infrastructure as cover for their military assets and operations. Israel asserts compliance with international law and claims to facilitate humanitarian aid into the territory. The United States urged the court last week to limit any advisory opinion on the occupation and not order the unconditional withdrawal of Israeli forces from the Palestinian territories. On Friday, the Biden administration said Israel's expansion of settlements in the occupied West Bank was inconsistent with international law, signaling a return to long-standing U.S. policy that had been reversed by the previous administration of Donald Trump. South Africa's filing with ICJ has already made a significant impact, drawing attention not only within Israel, but also on the international stage. The case serves as a reminder of the potential consequences for Israel's standing, prompting a reconsideration of its response to the recent Hamas attack. As the ICJ proceedings unfold, there is an opportunity for international humanitarian law to establish a common framework for assessing such issues. While the ICJ case concerns only the prohibition of genocide and related acts enumerated in the Genocide Convention, strong grounds for concern have been raised repeatedly that Israel has been committing other grave violations of international law in Gaza, including war crimes and crimes against humanity. Accordingly, given the narrow focus of the proceedings, an eventual finding by the ICJ that Israel did not perpetrate genocide in Gaza would not in any way constitute an exemption of Israel's conduct. On the contrary, it is very likely that the same material acts amount to serious breaches of fundamental norms that similarly shock the conscience of humanity. South Africa sought provisional measures from the ICJ to halt the alleged genocide, while Israel denied any genocidal intent in Gaza. South Africa is arguing that provisional measures are necessary in this case to protect against further, severe, and irreparable harm to the rights of the Palestinian people under the Genocide Convention, which continue to be violated with impunity. While this does not directly concern the respective rights of either party, while Israel was facing these allegations and charges at ICJ from different states, then another case jumped in ICJ on Friday the 1st of March 2024 over Israel-Palestine conflict. Nicaragua has sued Germany at the International Court of Justice for funding Israel and cutting aid to the UN Palestinian Refugee Agency. By sending military equipment and now defunding UNRWA, which provides essential support to the civilian population, Germany is facilitating the commission of genocide, Nicaragua said in its filing, citing the 1948 Genocide Convention and the 1949 Geneva Conventions on the Laws of War in the occupied Palestinian territories. And right immediately, a day after this, U.S. has airdropped 38,000 meals to Gaza in coordination with Jordan. But experts say the aid does not make up for Israeli restrictions on the transfer of food into the enclave via land crossings. While Nicaragua notified Germany urging Berlin to immediately stop the supply of weapons, ammunition, technology, and components to Israel, reminding it of its obligations under international law. According to the Stockholm International Peace Research Institute, the German government provides Israel with 23.9% of its imported weapons, and it comes only second to the United States in terms of arms procurement. At least 7,000 people are unaccounted for presumed dead under the rubble of their homes throughout the Strip. Palestinian and international organizations say that the majority of those killed and wounded are women and children. Moreover, the situation in Gaza calls for unified international pressure on Israel to cease its actions, stressing the urgent need for an immediate ceasefire by all parties involved to alleviate the unprecedented suffering of civilians in Gaza. Do you think the South Africa and Israel Genocide Convention case will be sorted out? Will Germany follow the instructions provided by Nicaragua? Is it possible for the Israel to suspend its military actions out of Gaza? We would like to take a moment here and appreciate you all for commenting and sharing your opinions. Your insights always impress us. Do you want to watch more videos like this one? If yes, please like and share the video and subscribe to get exclusive videos about ongoing trends of geopolitics and growing its influence over the world. Until the next video, stay tuned.